Okay, so we have a MacBook Pro here, uh, unibody that was brought to us with a boot up problem. So what we're going to do is turn it on, and we get the chime, and we get the Apple. So we're probably 3/4 of the way there. So we're going to let this start up and see what happens. Now, as we can see, the user had the uh, application CD in there. So obviously they were trying to run the tools on it to do a hardware check. I don't know exactly what happened from that, so we'll see what kind of error code we get from the physical Apple screen here. It'll probably take a minute or two before it actually defaults out and gives us the error. What we were being told from our user is that we get a circle with a line through it, like a do not enter sign. So we had a circle with a line through it, and it was still had the scrolling portion at the bottom. Now, if that ends up being the case, we have one of three things that has happened. Uh, Failed hard drive. Most of the time, people say, "Well, it's a folder mark with a folder with a question mark in it." That is also the case, but we could have a failed hard drive. We could have a system file that's been damaged, or an improper shutdown. In those three, we see relatively all of them are linked to a software and or hardware issue. Could be a hardware, could be a software type deal. They're all they all act in relatively the same form or fashion when they fail to start up, just like this system's doing right here. The extended boot that we're seeing, the time that it's taking to start up, uh, the hesitation in the system to go past what is functionally known as a BIOS screen on PCs. This would be a BIOS screen on an Apple. So the boot process for it is taking far longer than it should, and that's due to either a failed component or failed operating system. But we have to confirm whether or not the failure is due to what the user has stated, and we have to verify what is actually going on with it. This will be the first time we've actually turned it on. The CD actually, or the DVD actually auto-ejected itself, so we'll have to see what's going on and where it's at in the actual process of being repaired. What we're going to do is let this do its thing to try to get to a failure. We'll let it continue to boot up, but we're not going to sit here and videotape minute after minute uh, until it does something. So what we're going to do is stop the video right now and then pick it up once we get our confirmation of what our error is. Okay, so not even 30 seconds after we cut the video off did we get our error. But as we can see, there is a circle with a line through it, as stated by our user. So what we're going to do is test and see what's going on. Obviously, they ran a hardware test and did not tell us what's going on with it, whether the hard drive was bad or not. So what we're going to do is actually take the application CD and see if we cannot run Time Machine on it to see what we can get back. So that's where we're going to go with this one. So our problem seems to be software based, and so we've reinstalled the OS X, and we're going to let it finalize and see if that fixes it, but most likely that's going to be the repair for our system here.